I love Lego. You can make anything with those neat little bricks. Kind of like Volkswagen can make 3 small performance cars out of one platform. The Golf R, the S3, and not present today, but we recently drove, the TT.
What we have here is a good old-fashioned case of sibling rivalry. Volkswagen versus Audi, hatchback versus sedan, youth versus maturity. And in this case, as always, maturity wins.
I don't think so, because between these two cars, honestly, I don't see why anyone would go for the S3 over the Golf R.
Volkswagen.
Oh, come
Audi.
on. Who cares? The pricing's almost the same. They drive almost the same. I don't care about the badge in the front. I'm going to go with this one.
That's fine. This is a far more subtle vehicle.
If you're that way, I guess the only way to convince you is to go for a drive.
Let's go for a drive.
All right.
So here we are in the Audi S3, and I gotta admit, as much as I'm a manual guy, I do love the DSG transmission.
It pains me to admit this, but you're right. The DSG is a fantastic transmission. It's probably one of the best transmissions out there that shift gears for you. But again, you can get this transmission in the Golf R.
Well, I mean, it's the difference between buying a very expensive Volkswagen or a not so expensive Audi.
But this is a very expensive Volkswagen under the skin. The MQB platform on which both the Golf R and the S3 are based, it's a fantastic platform.
It is. It's a really great platform. This is a stiff vehicle. I admit there's one thing I don't like about this particular car. Every little divot, every little tar strip, every little pothole kind of thunks through the body.
You just have to play with the drive select system. I'm sure if you flip it in comfort, that'll make the ride over pavement like this a lot more bearable.
Speaking of which, let's throw it into sport.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, let's see how the Golf R compares.
Welcome to the car you should buy if you want an S3, the Golf R. This offers 9/10 of what the S3 does, and it's packaged up a lot better. It's packaged up a lot more practically, and of course, it's a lot less expensive.
Well, what you really mean is, welcome to the car you should buy if you can't afford an Audi S3. I gotta admit, I do like the console layout.
The one thing that I adore over the S3 is the fact that this thing has 3 pedals. I will make the smart choice, and I will stick with the Golf R. You don't need anything more.
Well, if you want a trunk, you do.
You have something better than a trunk.
You have a hatch.
If my money were on the line, as pleasant as our drive in the S3 was, I wouldn't go for it.
And actually, I think the ride is a little better in the Golf R than is in the S3 that I have.
So, may the best man win.
Nick, I get your point. When I was about your age, I was all over the Rabbit GTI. But there comes a time when you gotta put on your big boy pants. I see you're not there yet, and it's time to get a good, sensible sedan that just happens to have a crap load of performance to it. For Driving.ca, I'm Brian Harper.
No, you're not done yet, because honestly, this can be just as sensible as the S3. With the price difference between the S3 and the Golf R, loaded up with the DSG, you're looking at 43 grand for the Golf R. But to start, you're looking at just over $45,000 for the S3, and you don't get the same equipment as this thing. If my money were on the line, I'd save my cash. I'd go for this one.
Personally, if I was your age, I'd be all over this car. But I have a few extra years on you. I like the sedan. For Driving.ca, I'm Brian Harper.
You just said that. For Driving.ca, I'm Nick Trejanis.